Sodium selenite. It was pretty interesting that I got that question because not many people know about sodium selenite. But about 15 years ago, when I was still, in Arizona, I knew a biochemist who had referred me to an article. Actually, it was a doctoral thesis at the Karolinska Institute in Sweden. If any of you know about the Karolinska Institute, it does a lot of cutting edge research. A lot of good things come out of there. Anyway, they had one guy did his doctoral thesis on selenium, sodium selenite. Now we've all heard of selenium. Selenium is a very important mineral. I mean, it's necessary for glutathione, a couple of the glutathione enzymes in the cascade, but it does many other things. A deficiency in selenium will result in chronically fermenting cells somewhere in the body. And since about 1915 in the United States, there's been a selenium deficiency in our soil. Our soil has been deficient of selenium. So so if you're going to eat organic food, you got to make sure the organic gardener is adding selenium, zinc, manganese, all these things that we need. But anyway, so most of the selenium that we eat as humans is going to come in through the plants, and the plants are on our soil, and what they do is they grab minerals and they chelate them. Anyway, so sodium selenite, it's just selenium with O3, but I mean it does everything. It does everything. It's an amazing molecule. And by the way, 4 Brazil nuts will give you 200 micrograms of selenium, selenomethane. And if you make Brazil nut milk, you're going to be you'll get lots of selenium. As it turns out, sodium selenite is preferentially picked up by chronically fermenting cells because of the environment of the microenvironment around the tumor. It'll pick it up even more than that. So the selenium winds up producing something called superoxide dismutase with superoxide. Superoxide is a chemical that is very oxidative and it kills. But all chronically fermenting cells, all of our healthy cells, have an enzyme called superoxide dismutase, so it doesn't bother it, but it bothers the chronically fermenting cell. So I said, that sounds great. Let's start using it. So we did it, and we got it. And we mixed it with a normal saline, which is a normal bag. We infused it over 1 hour, and then what was really interesting is that I was using it. There was just me and a few people, and nobody actually. I was the only one for a while, and then other people figured it out. I told a lot of doctors that I knew about it, and they started using it, and then I found out UCSF was going to do a trial of it with chronically fermenting prostate cells, and then the outcome was good, and so now they've done many, and they kind of know the mechanisms, but the mechanisms are amazing because they're not just the mechanisms by which it eliminates the way it eliminates the cancer or the chronically fermenting cells are multiple, not just that what I talked about before, not just where you form that superoxide. Anyway, if you're interested, the Karolinska Institute, Eric Ohm was the author, and it was Stockholm too. But you can just look up Karolinska Institute, you put selenium or sodium selenite thesis, and that's it. And that's the original work that got everything going, right? To make people want to, from then on, start looking at it, and that's when we discovered it too. It turns out that what sodium selenite does. So the reason you use sodium selenite is because it's picked up easier by chronically fermenting cells, and then it causes problems once it gets in. But one of the main things it does is it increases the oxidative stress inside of the chronically fermenting cell, and it winds up dying. And it causes cell cycle arrest. In other words, it can't reproduce. The chronically fermenting cells can't reproduce. And it turns off different pathways like the AKT and the mTOR pathway. And it's just pretty amazing. It's just pretty amazing.